I always thought there'd be some sort of this dream scenario of how you become a famous singer. And I just don't think it was like that for me at all. I don't think I'd ever been in front of an actual camera. Now we need a video. Just get him there and make a video. And they had professional dancers, for God's sake. I just shuffled around a bit. I mean, let's face it, I looked about 11 years old. People just looked at me and went, what? That guy's singing it? We're no strangers to love.
We finished the recording.
We got about a minute in and we didn't like it.
I don't think anybody here all thought that it was going to be #1.
I think they were unconvinced of my voice and the way I looked and me being able to front it. And to be honest, I think they were kind of right. 2007, I'm on holiday and my friend, he sends me an email, and in that email is a link. I click on the link and then all of a sudden, boom, the video for Never Gonna Give You Up starts and you have been Rickrolled. That was the beginning of that song becoming a thing on the internet.
So many people have been Rickrolled.
Why? Who does these things?
Whoever he was, thank you very much.
My name is Sean Cotter, and the inventor of the meme on the internet called the Rickroll. The numbers just kept going up, but not like linearly, they're growing exponentially. And it ended up being this global phenomenon.
When you're the Rick and Rickroll, it's very, very different.
People look at quite a lot of songs through a lens and go, looking back, it's a bit better than we thought it was.
Didn't use the term viral back then, but I think certain records and videos definitely had a thing that everyone just wanted to see it. 1 billion views later. Thank you very much.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
I'm from a very, very small town called Newton-le-Willows. There's not a lot going on there, to be honest. My mum and dad divorced. I was the youngest of 4 kids. They had had a child that passed away before I was born. So I think there was definitely something pretty heavy in the atmosphere in our house. And to be honest, I actually think that's one of the reasons I got into music, is because I just didn't want to go home. If I could stay on at school for an hour or two, yeah, I'll do that. I went into one of the music rooms at school. We had this little crappy drum kit. I just kind of picked up the sticks and was thrashing around and could sort of play straight away. Just instinctively, it just felt good to just smash the hell out of a drum kit. And I played drums every moment I could. And all I wanted to do really was be in a band, and I saw that as being a life, a career. I got in a band and was just the drummer really. Borrowed a guitar from one of the guys in the band and he taught me a couple of chords. And so I wrote a couple of tunes, went into rehearsals one day and sang them. And everyone just looked at me and went, well, you're singing them then. And I don't know when my voice broke exactly, but I just always sang like that. So all of a sudden it's a bit like, okay, that'll do. I kind of sort of became the singer over the next few weeks and dropped the drumming. We built up a little bit of a following in the little town I'm from. We kind of like, we rocked it. I think people were a bit like, fuck. So we entered this battle of the bands. One of the judges that night was a guy called Pete Waterman, part of this production team, Stock Aitken Waterman, 3 guys, Mike Stock, Matt Aitken and Pete Waterman. Pete Waterman was kind of the business end of it, and he was the ideas person. He's a larger-than-life character even today.
Rick, that's the story I've just been telling.
In his 30s, in his prime, when he was kind of trying to take over the world, he was a force of nature. Pete Waterman got in touch a couple of times over the next few months, so I went down to see him, because he was really interested in signing just me. I didn't feel great about it. I was going there without the band. They were my mates, and it felt alien to just go, so I'm just going to be me on my own, that's it. In the end, I just sort of thought, sod this, I'm just going to give it a try. I'll get in a real studio, we'll make a single, it'll probably die a death, but what an experience. I'm 19, whatever, let's just do it. So I signed a little deal. I got to come to London, and the idea was I was going to make a record. I ended up just sort of going to the back of the line, ended up being a tea boy in the studio. That's one of the essential things, certainly in Britain, making tea, darling, and got the coffee and the sandwiches and the biscuits. Did all the kind of crappy jobs that you do in a studio. First, I was like, really? Is that what I've signed to do?
I felt he needed some depth in the music industry, so I thought if he'd learn the recording techniques, it would be good for him.
I mean, they realised that I was pretty shy, and that I was from a very small town in the north of England, green as grass, and didn't know anything. If people aren't comfortable, they do not perform in a studio. So they had to just ease me into it, and me being around was one way to do that.
Rick came down to the studio, helped us out for about a year.
At this juncture, Mike and I had not heard Rick sing, so we didn't really know what we were dealing with.
Finally, when I got him on the microphone, I'm listening, I couldn't believe the voice.
His appearance didn't match the sound, you know. It was an oddity.
Rick's voice was so powerful,
and unusual. So I said to Matt Aitken and Pete Waterman, I think Rick's too good to do a cover. We should write something for him. And we set to work.
I ended up staying at Pete Waterman's flat for months because he thought, well, I better look after this kid because, you know, I can't just sort of put him up in some crappy flat somewhere.
So he shared a flat with me. In the morning when we get up to come to work, he would make the toast and the tea while I was having a bath.
Yeah, I pretty much went to the studio with Pete every day. But just being in the car with him, going into the studio, was an event in itself. He had one of those great big grey 80s phones, and he'd be screaming at people. I was just this kid who was staying at his flat, so I think he felt pretty free to be able to say anything, and he did.
But one morning, I was on the phone for a long, long time.
Probably had a blazing row with his girlfriend, and when he clicked the phone off and threw it.
And, you know, Rick said in the car, you're never going to give her up.
Yeah, but you're never going to give her up, are you?
I went, wow, that's an idea for a song.
To me, that would have been nothing, but to him, that would have been a song title. As he's just gone, boom.
We came to work, I distinctly remember running through the studio door.
He bursts into the room, almost kicking the door up and going, I've got it, I've got it.
Finding our keyboard player in the building, I said, get this tune down quick for me. And I sang him this really simple tune. And I had the title, Never Gonna Give You Up. I certainly didn't have Never Gonna Let You Down.
Peter came up with this title, which wasn't particularly original.
Mike came in and thought it was a load of rubbish. And he's quite right. He said, but I know what you're trying to do. Go and have a cup of tea, and Matt and I'll sort it out, which they did.
Mike Stock came downstairs and said, it's called Never Gonna Give You Up, and it goes like this. And he played the chords into the computer. This is the original multi-track with no effects on it in its simplest, purest form. Even though it's a simple pop song, it's got a lot of layers in it. The technology that was around at the time was also leading the way records sounded. And once everyone sort of says, well, DX7 is how you make a bass sound, that's it, then everyone's got to do it. Feel the funk, baby, feel the funk. Just the little picky guitar things all came out of this thing called the Fairlight.
There's a big modular box with all the brains in it and a keyboard and an old-fashioned monitor.
And also all the strings as well. And it's one of the signatures of the song, I think. And I think if it had been done by an orchestra, please forgive me, orchestras, it might not have worked.
So we then sat down to write the verse. I remember we had a sort of ethos discussion as to, well, why is he never going to give her up? And Mike said, come on, let's not be too clever about this. He's a simple lad from up north. He's never going to give her up because he loves her. Fine. It doesn't say much, really. It just says, I love you, and you can see that I love you. So happy days and rainbows, and it all ends happily ever after.
Lyrically, I probably wasn't even that focused on it. Mike Stock sang the lyrics to me. He'd just sort of sing it to you in your ear, and he'd do that 3 or 4 or 5 times until you were singing it back to him, and then you'd go in the room.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I.
It's high, that. Well, I just think it was hard to sing, to be honest. The chorus is the hardest bit, without a doubt. It's quite a fast staccato. Never gonna do it, never gonna do it.
The first 3 or 4 seconds of the chorus is everything. If that doesn't work, you're kind of running uphill with lead boots on, really.
Music of this nature has been around a long time, and if it doesn't go whoosh in the chorus, you haven't got a chorus.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
I walked back in, and the track that you now hear was done.
Whoever the engineer was pressed play. We got about a minute in and we didn't like it.
We finished the recording and we left it on the shelf. We weren't sure what we had. How stupid can you get? Could see when you get it wrong, but we weren't very smart sometimes when we had it perfectly right.
I think they were unconvinced of my voice and the way I looked and me being able to front it. And to be honest, I think they were kind of right.
Rick, it was like your brother or your son. We're all supported him, but I don't think anybody here all thought that it was going to be number one.
It must have seemed to Rick as if something was going to happen, and it hadn't.
So we had this tape with Rick singing Never Gonna Give You Up. Rick got frustrated with us, not issuing it.
I just thought, that's a bloody hit, man, you know what I mean? What are we doing?
So I sent the tape to the Mix Mag.
Mix Mag back in the day, I think, was really important to a certain part of the industry. It was the community of what people went to find out what was cool and what was going to be cool.
The Mix Mag, they did a sample on their monthly tape, driving down the motorway and listening to Capital, and then suddenly Rick came on.
Capital Radio in London was probably the biggest thing in terms of independent radio.
So I rang up Capital and said, where have you got this record from? And they'd edited it together off the Mix Mag tape.
I heard the record coming in one morning and one of the guys in the office was playing it. God, blimey, what's that? It's Rick. Crikey.
Capitol just played the crap out of it.
It's getting so much play, we can't really change it.
But it's like, there ain't no going back now. You can't keep it in a drawer anymore, it's out.
Radio stations, it suddenly went from nowhere to one in about a week, because people just rang in and said, what is this record? You know, play it, play it.
There was no video, there wasn't a photograph. They just played the record.
Nobody had seen Rick Astley. So Rick Astley was going #1 on the black stations, on the country stations, on the pop stations. They are segregated, and they hadn't got a clue that he was a white guy.
It just went so fast, it was unreal. We only made the video in the week it went to #1.
At that time, we'd never made a video. We had no idea what videos were all about.
I don't think I'd ever been in front of an actual camera. Nobody said to me, this is what it's going to be like. Now we need a video. Just get him there and make a video. And they were so unprepared to make the video. All the clothes in that video are mine. The stripy t-shirt and the blazer, the double denim, the turtleneck. People think that that raincoat is something somebody dreamed up. It was mine, for God's sake. Boom. It's all mine.
How did the dance come about?
Fear. And they had professional dancers, for God's sake. I just shuffled around a bit, sifting around and going, oh, right, well, I've got a raincoat. I was about as vulnerable as you could possibly be making that video. The chain link fence was next to a block of flats, and there was a guy hanging out of the window screaming, you shut that fuck up. Because obviously they're playing the music pretty loud. He doesn't care someone's making a pop video. It was mad. The whole thing is ridiculous. I think on the day, the guy who does the backflip, I think he said, oh, I can do a backflip. Everyone just said, great, let's film that. I distinctly remember that and a few other things about it, and just sort of thinking, wow. It doesn't look like this on MTV.
Not many people were very sure about what Rick looked like. People were thinking he was a black American or a New Yorker or something from the way he sounded.
MTV and everybody wants the video. They go, oh my God, he's white.
I can kind of understand that people would think I look completely different than what I sounded like. Red-haired kid with freckles. I mean, let's face it, I looked about 11 years old. People just looked at me and went, what? That guy's singing it? But I think that's part of the charm of it. I mean, charming is a very nice way to put it.
It kind of mirrors his personality. He's got a slightly awkward mojo, but it kind of suits him, you know?
That video became iconic. I mean, wherever you went in the world, in the 80s, everybody did that dance and everybody talks about the video.
Suddenly it all happened, all kicked off.
He's the top-selling singles artist of the year, and this is the best-selling record of the year. Here is Rick Astley!
We were punch drunk. You know, it's one of the things where you're pinching yourself to say, wake up, you're asleep.
The first album, Whenever You Need Somebody, it's called, Never Gonna Give You Up, was the first track. It did phenomenally well.
We go #1 in 25 countries around the world.
Once he'd got the hit, he wasn't making tea anymore.
The record became the biggest record that year, beating Michael Jackson, Madonna, and anybody else. And I say that with all humility. I'm just trying to put perspective on it. Because it was new, it just felt great. I'm going to Rome, I'm going to Tokyo. Great, bring it on.
I don't think anybody's feet touch the ground.
Went from just being a lot of fun for everybody to it being pretty frickin' intense. 3 or 4 years of just going boom, boom, boom every single day. I don't know, it just burnt me out, I think. A lot of the things that I really loved about music and wanting to make music had no relevance anymore. I just felt like a travelling salesman who could be selling nuts, to be honest.
You're jetting off to Germany tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to Germany tomorrow to do some TV, so...
The actual music part of it was so small in the whole business of it. I had to kind of almost put my foot down to be able to go and play live, because it was just about making records and being on TV, and that's all they wanted me to do. It became so weird to me, just flying around the world, doing interviews, talking about something I'm supposed to be good at doing. After a while, it just became so insignificant, the actual music, that I don't know, I just didn't want to do it anymore, really. I almost feel guilty about it because it's not, you should feel, and I do feel grateful for it. I love how nice it can be for other people. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to stop for a second. Taking somebody who is in obscurity and turning them into a face that the world recognises in an extremely short period of time is not good for people. It does actually kill people.
I don't believe we knowingly put Rick under any pressure, but the pressure he must have felt must have been incredible. Rick came to the point where Rick had to move on.
I was about 27 when I quit. I was with my manager and we were going to Heathrow, the airport, and we were going to New York to do a TV show. By this point, I'd become a dad. I was wealthy. I'd had fame and realised I'm not really interested in being famous. It does nothing for me. I think I recognised, time for you to quit, son. Time for you to walk away. I want to be at home with my daughter, you know. It was literally on the motorway, I said, we're going to have to turn around. I need to go home, and that's what I did. Flash forward to 2007, I'm on holiday in Italy, having a good time, and my friend, who I've known for years, he sends me an email, and in that email is a link. I'm thinking, well, he sent me something to look at. I click on the link, and then all of a sudden, boom, the video for Never Gonna Give You Up starts, and I'm like, okay, why is he definitely sending that? I say to him, okay, yeah, funny, whatever, we're on holiday, I'll speak to you soon. And he does it again. And I think it was a different link this time even, but sure enough, a few seconds later, I called him. I said, what are you doing, right? And he's laughing. And he said, well, it's a Rickroll'd. You don't know what that is? And I'm like, well, no. And he kind of explained that this thing was blowing up on the internet. Somebody had the bright idea to send a link, and that could be anything. And then all of a sudden, boom, Never Gonna Give You Up comes in, the video, and you have been Rickroll'd.
This is the Rickroll'd video. Starts the same way, everyone's gonna recognize it. My name is Sean Cotter. I'm a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force, and I'm also the inventor of the meme on the internet called the Rickroll. In 2007, I was a young military airman. I had a passion for computers and internet and meme culture, and I was trying to be a YouTuber at the time. I first discovered Never Gonna Give You Up when I was looking on the internet and I found a list of music that was songs that were popular when you were born. In my case, that was 1987. Among the songs that were on there was the Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. I was watching the video and just straight from the beginning, the drum intro, the foot tapping, the Rick Astley dance, and then his voice starts. He's got such a low voice and it just doesn't look like it came from him. I immediately knew that I wanted to make this thing into a meme. There was a common meme on the internet called the duck roll. You get a link sent to you and you get this picture of just a duck with wheels and it just says duck roll. Duck roll became Rickroll. I go to 4chan and I start posting this link. Basically in every thread that I see, I had no rhyme or reason to the way that I was posting it. When I woke up the next morning, it was beyond 20,000 views, and that was mind-blowing at the time. Then it was on Facebook timeline, it was on forums, it was everywhere. The numbers just kept going up, but not like linearly, they're growing exponentially. April Fool's Day of 2008, YouTube.com changed their homepage, and they'd link to my video. Millions of people who were going to YouTube got Rickrolled.
That was the beginning of that song becoming a thing on the internet.
People had come up with just the craziest ways to Rickroll people.
Somebody edited the series Mad Men together so that the cast of Mad Men sang Never Gonna Give You Up.
Give up.
I saw it in 2009 on the Barack Obama campaign when they Rickrolled Senator McCain.
Senator Obama does not.
I saw some guy, he's got a tattoo on his leg. The guy said, scan it with your phone, and that suddenly triggers off a Rickroll on the guy's phone.
Oh, let's go.
Why? Who does these things?
And I have embraced the Rickrolling thing, and I've joined in with things. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've been paid money to do things with it, right?
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you.
I mean, it doesn't look anything like me.
I was asked to Rickroll a float in the Macy's Day Parade. I'm never going to get invited to be in the Macy's Day Parade doing anything else.
It's become a song and a joke as well, I suppose, at the same time.
But what a wonderful joke to be part of. The best jokes told by the best comedians. Whoever he was, thank you very much.
The spirit of the internet is bringing people together. I think we definitely use humor as a way to show appreciation toward each other. I think the Rickroll started because it was a joke probably on Rick Astley. But now I think the joke is on anybody who's not in on the joke.
The Rickroll is a joke, but I've never taken it personally that people are taking the piss out of me. They might be making a joke about that guy in that video, but that isn't personal to the person I am today, or I've been for 30 years, really. To be honest, even when I was 21, that guy in the video isn't me. It's the guy that they just said, there's a camera going, go on then. I'm going, okay, well, I'll be that dude then. It's been great in terms of getting people to kind of hear that song. People know that song that I would never believe know that song, you know, whether age-wise or because of the genre of music that they love.
When you see the Foo Fighters doing Never Gonna Give You Up, would they be doing Never Gonna Give You Up without Rick rolling?
singing it live to people and seeing people's faces when the intro of that song starts sort of tickles me a little bit, because I can see in people a recognition of the song, and that's pretty amazing. I think younger people perhaps look at it and it just connects them to a time from a distant past. Bizarrely, I think people appreciate a decade when they get far enough away from it.
It means something to people. A lot of relationships were started to this record. It's part of people's emotional DNA.
People look at quite a lot of songs through a lens and go, looking back, it's a bit better than we thought it was.
If she'd have said to somebody back then, we'd be sitting here talking about 1 billion hits, they would never believe you. It's amazing, but it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, and I mean that, because without Rick, the song doesn't work. Rick's got something unique in his voice, and that's empathy. He felt the song. He made it his own.
Long may it continue. I shouldn't say about the royalties, because it's still a fantastic earner. That's what songs are like. When they stand the test of time, they just keep going.
Within the last couple of years, we've had another resurgence of it. And now it makes me wonder, like, are we still going to be seeing this thing 50 years from now? Are people still going to be Rickrolling people?
All that's really happened is, I think, is that song has just found its spot in the universe, and the universe is the internet now. Even from that day of actually stopping, I don't think I've ever not picked a guitar up. I have made a couple of albums in the last 5-6 years, and we've had a lot of success in the UK with them. They're like bona fide #1 albums. I can play arenas in the UK, it's crazy. But I've done way more gigging in the last 15 years than I did when I was famous. I've been able to make 2 albums that I've played every single instrument on. I'm a lot happier than when I was having my hits. It's kind of perfect, because even though I've just sung for 10,000 people and they've sung most of the words back to me, even new songs, when I go to the bar, 1 person might recognise me, sometimes none. It's amazing. I'm never gonna give you up. It's my biggest song, always has been, always will be. There's just no getting away from it. And I've sort of come full circle and now can embrace it for what it is, fully. It's the song that keeps giving. Some magic happened when that song got recorded and it just won't give up. I can't say it, can I? It'll never give you up, but it just won't. It just won't, man. And to be honest, I'm gonna stake a claim here a little bit. I think I brought the stripy t-shirt back. I think it had lost its moment, and I think I brought it back. And I can't take all the claim for that, but I'm gonna take most of it. And like a turtleneck, a black turtleneck. Forget Steve Jobs, baby.